Half a year ago, I came across this shallow pond with frog spawn. I wanted to raise some frogs, so I put them in this jar so I could raise them into frogs. Once I collected them, I went back home, then set them up a tank with sand and decorations, and then I dumped them into the tank. After I dumped them into the fish tank, I did a quick check for parasites. Then I let them settle into their new home. I woke up the next day, switched on the tank, and had a closer look to see that they had already changed shape overnight. You can see that the heads are starting to grow already. This is because the tank temperature is warmer than outdoors. That's why they are growing much faster already. Then I woke up again on the third day, and they were starting to break outside their egg jelly. Then on the fourth day, some of them started to hatch out into tiny little tadpoles. Then I woke up the fifth day and turned on the lights to see hundreds of tadpoles attached to the glass of the tank. There were absolutely loads, about 1,000 of them swimming about. I zoomed in on them and they looked like little baby axolotls. Then I went away for a few days and the tank bacteria got too high and killed some of the tadpoles. So I immediately scooped out the tadpoles, changed the water, nice and clean, and they were fine. Then at 2 weeks old, their gills disappeared, and they started growing eyes and mouths. They were a lot more active and they were eating the thin layer of algae what grows on the glass. Because they loved eating off the glass, I thought they would like some real foods. So I boiled them some eggs. And they showed absolutely no interest at all. I even tried many things like worms' meat, but they didn't show any. They just liked the algae on the glass for now. I waited a few more days until they got a little bigger. I fed them, and they actually became a lot more interested in food. I started testing on trying to find their favorite food, and their favorite foods, were worms and also pepper. I seemed to be the favorited, and after I started feeding them different foods, they got less interested in the algae. So I introduced a small algae-sucking pleco to clean the glass, and these pleco grow huge. After he started getting used to the tank, he started searching for food. He sucked all over the glass and sucking on the clam boobler and removed the algae and giving it a clean. Now after 3 weeks, the tank glass cleaned up a bit and it's now time for the tadpoles' dinner. I got them some sushi and let's see if they like it. The tadpoles knew that I was preparing to feed them and they were at the top. I dropped the sushi in and they came down. And very quickly, the salmon and she shrimp got crowded up by tadpoles in less than a minute. They were absolutely demolishing them. Especially the salmon, this is by far their most favorite food. After they ate the sushi, they came to the top for more, so I got some bacon to see if they would like it, and they liked it just as much as the sushi, and it went away in a couple minutes. Then after a month old, they started to grow little legs growing. If you look closely, you will see. After another week of feeding them meat, the tank got very cloudy, so I scooped them out of the tank, put them in a bowl, changed the water. Then I filtered out all the tadpoles from the bowl to put them back in the tank. Then I put them back into the nice clean water, and as soon as they started reaching the bottom of the tank, they looked extremely happy already. And I could just see how big and how much their legs are coming in. Not long after that, I decided to introduce 3 tiny turtles into the tank. I made the tank shallow for the turtles and for the tadpoles, so they could make their way out of the water. After the second month, some of them started to turn into froglets, and I got them out of the tank into a bowl, and then after a few weeks, they lost their tails and were little frogs. Just look how tiny these frogs are. Kept the frogs for a while and fed them in their container, and then I decided to put them into a bucket and release them into my small garden pond. I've not seen these frogs in months. I had a little search around the garden and found the frogs under the leaves and rocks. They had tripled their size. These frogs in here were having a nice nap into the dirt, and even found some in the pond chilling in the sun. Some of these frogs have different cool colors, like this red frog, and I even saw an albino frog. Once I handled the frogs, I put them back in the pond and looked for more. I found more frogs and held them. If you want more updates on the frog army, then drop a follow.